So long story short, a couple of weeks ago, I got word that one of the tabletop displays that I had built for one of our products a couple of years ago was going to get geared up to go to a trade show coming up in a few months. So I knew that I needed to do some modifications to it, and it turns out a minor repair, I should say. So I brought it home, and it was easier for me to do it there than bring all the tools I needed to work. So I decided to bring it home and got set up to do the modifications and the repair. Decided to use this old cabinet that my wife's grandfather, a good friend of mine, built probably 50, 60 years ago. That he gave to me a long time ago. But you know, obviously the surface isn't the cleanest thing in the world. So I put something down on top of it, which turned out to be an old, kind of a turntable off the bottom of a soccer ball chair. But long short of it is it has a turntable on the bottom of it. And it found it very convenient to be able to turn the whole work surface as I needed to change the angle of working on this device. And it gave me an idea. So when I was done working on that, decided I'd built two of these displays, and while there wasn't the time urgency, I needed to update the other one as well. It had the same shortcomings. So I took the idea that I had come up with using the turntable from the other one and decided to make a removable work surface for this guy when I needed a rotatable work surface, which I do from time to time. Some of you guys have seen my Monday machine. Most of you don't know that I broke it. Got knocked off a table. Haven't had the chance to repair it yet, but when I built it, I did a lot of rotating with it. Picking it up, turning it, picking it up, turning it, and it would be nice to have it on a surface where I could just turn the whole surface. So I set out and created this. This is a starter anyway. This is actually the turntable off of that bottom of that chair piece that I used before. This is the turntable here. This is a piece of an old TV cabinet. And so what I did is on the inside of here, there are a couple of wood inserts. So it threads into the wood, and it gives me a metal threaded insert that I can use bolts or screws to attach to the wood. And I drilled a hole in here to access the mounts for this. I'll drill one. I'm only going to use two. It's not have to be really secured down tight. So I simply just line up one hole. Start one. I'm going to thread this down by hand because the ratchet is kind of noisy. Just get it down not quite snug. I'm going to put the other one in. I can line things up. Get it centered. Put this one down snug and then tighten it. Tighten the other one. And then this will be installed. And the concept is I'll have this. I'm working in the shop. There we go. Shop / garage mess, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to build another bench. And that bench will have a couple of spots with these inserts, so I can, as I need doing a project that needs a rotatable surface, I can add one of these to it. So this is now secured, and it's works quite well. And then I also realized that when I was working on the other display, it's an A-frame, and I tilted it up on end, and I'll show you why here in a minute. I've got the other one here. But I needed to have it on end, and one side is quite heavy compared to the other side, so it wanted to flop over. So I came up with a way of securing it. That other turntable, if you will, had a rather large hole for accessing the tie downs, if you will, and enough to take a clamp, one of those smaller hobby clamps. This doesn't sit up high enough to do that. So what I came up with is a way using again those wood inserts. So far I've got just 2. I may add a few more. But I put those in here and I made this little bracket, and that allows me to install this clamp, and got a clamp on it there. I'm going to center the focus on this, I hope. Okay. Now that I said that, I'm going to change it and change the focus, I think. And I'll bring out the display. Show you what I'm talking about. Again, it's an A-frame. Put it heavier on one end than the other. If I just let it go, it wants to flop over. I don't want to do that because I'm going to break it. So now, again, it's not, I could knock it over if I really wanted to, but it's enough to where it won't fall over its own. And now I can rotate it. And one of the things that I'm doing to it is I'm taking all these power cables, there, and they're all going right now to the one power supply, and I'm going to add a distribution block to it so that they can all have their separate connection, and just kind of clean it up a little bit, give them a little bit of slack. So I need to remove one, I'm not having to remove it here and then remove it on the outside, right, things like that. And then I'm also going to be adding a back panel to this. And I don't have the power cord attached right now, but it had a permanently attached power cord, which caused some problems with packing it. So I'm going to add a connector. You can, like a computer connector, you can plug the cable in, power cable to this device after you unpacked it. So that's all I'm doing to it. And then I'll show you this, what I'm doing here. What this is, this display that I built 2 of them a couple years ago. And unfortunately, the product that it highlights is not attached to it right at the moment, but that is our tabletop display. The gateway that is supposed to be displaying goes right here in the center, and then all these devices are communicating different protocols to each other through our gateway. So that's what I'm working on. I'll be starting this one on tomorrow, and but again, I wanted to show you what I sometimes do to build tools to do the projects that I'm doing, and I enjoy building the tools just as much as I do the projects. For me, it's not the end result, it's getting there, and building the tools is just as fun. So when you're with home projects, it's I love doing it, it's a lot of fun, and I love doing it at work too. But, you know, for work I get paid to do it, so but you know, hopefully more to come. I'd like to do these videos more often, and about work and about the play stuff. And for those of you who saw my Monday machine, I might do the resurrection of that on video. We'll see. Talk to you later.